things off for the Phillies on this series finale with Trey Turner at shortstop hitting second. Harper's the first baseman hitting third. Then it's Marsh in left field hitting cleanup. Alec Bohm at third. He went deep yesterday. The second baseman is Bryson Stott. Doing the catching, JT Realmuto with Adolis Garcia in right field, now 3 for his last 51. And Justin Crawford in center field hitting ninth. He got the rally started in the 8th inning last night. Yamamoto 7 innings, just 1 run against Milwaukee on Sunday. His second straight start like that. That was after an uncharacteristic 4-start stretch where his ERA was around 5, but he looks very much like he's back in line.
Yeah, that 4-start stretch you have to take with a grain of salt because he's raised the bar so high for himself. But the last 2 starts have been almost immaculate, especially when it comes to ground balls. He's getting a lot of ground balls with the 4-seamer and the splitter, and the sinker is really kind of headed towards the headline lately. It's a pitch that wasn't really with him last year, but throwing more of it this year and doing really well with it. It's going to be fun to watch him against this Phillies lineup because there's a lot of swing and miss in it. Just avoid the home runs.
Yeah, a lot of swing and miss, but a lot of damage. And the face of that whole thing is the guy that'll lead this off. Schwarber in this series has struck out 4 times, but he's also hit his 22nd home run to lead the majors. 4-2 Dodgers on Friday night. 4-3 Phillies last night. Even with the defeat, the Dodgers have won 13 of their last 16 games. Yamamoto threw his wind as Schwarber climbs in, and off we go with ball 1. The Phillies 4-1 on this road trip through San Diego and Los Angeles. Swept the Padres to begin it, and split in the first 2 games here with the Dodgers. They've won 21 of 30 since Don Mattingly took over the managerial chair. 2-0 on Schwarber.
Lately, they're doing it with pitching. The offense has been very inconsistent.
Yeah, last night's game, the 10th game in a row where they've scored 4 or fewer. But in that same span, the ERA is below 2. And a wave and a miss, 2-1. And fastballs have been the pitch that have given the Phillies the biggest problem this weekend.
That was a cheat swing, expecting a guy who throws a lot of strikes to throw him a strike right there. He was starting before the ball came out of Yamamoto's hands.
Splitter to the knees, 2-2. It's been Yamamoto's most used pitch. The league hitting just 173 against it. The only guy that throws more splitters in the National League, also out of Japan, and Shota Imanaga of the Cubs. It's a pitch that most guys over there throw. Schwarber leading things off and taking ball 3, but a challenge coming here from Dalton Rushing, and there was that sinker that he tried to pull an Oral Hershiser on, pull back over the inside corner. ABS powered by T-Mobile. Let's see if he did so successfully. He did. And we start the game with an overturned ABS.
Well, the sweet spot for left-handed hitters is usually low and in, but never seen them jumping back and losing their balance and hit that pitch. Dalton Rushing's got it right.
He's got 6 different pitches. If he uses those to get 7 strikeouts today, you know what you're going to get tomorrow. You get a free jumbo jack as the Dodgers start their series in Arizona. Saws off Trey Turner, roller to short. Mookie Betts, 2 out. Well, ground balls, you said. He racked up a career-high number of those in Milwaukee. And throughout the season, when there's been an issue, it's typically come in the first. Yeah, he's retired the first 2 here.
No traffic to work with here yet. Against Milwaukee, 13 ground ball outs, 2 of them with double plays. So he had some traffic to get through with those ground balls.
Bryce Harper here with the bases empty and 2 away. It was a really aggressive Milwaukee lineup. Only had 3 strikeouts in that game, but all the soft contact you're talking about, that's a good path to get deep in to a ball game, which he did. He went 7 innings on just 92 pitches.
Milwaukee's game is making contact, being tough outs, putting the ball in play.
And while not as much scrappiness to this lineup, similarly aggressive group. You don't think of them as much as bat the ball scrappy guys as you do power hitters, but whatever they do, typically it comes quick.
And you see the 3 Ks, only the 1 walk. here today so far. Looks like he's on his game, because when he's getting strikeouts and ground balls, that's when he's at his best.
Comes home with a 2-0 to Harper, and a fastball misses away. Harper often very aggressive, although yesterday we saw him patient. He had a base hit, walked twice. Three and one.
After watching Schwarber guest swing on his 2-0 pitch, I thought Bryce would be swinging right there 3-0. You really want to get to one of the other 5 pitches now?
See what Yamamoto goes with on this 3-1. It is a splitter, and it's 3-2.
Yoshi got a gift strike as far as him not offering it, the 4-seam fastball near the middle of the plate in the 3-0 count. Harper paid him again right there, swinging at the 3-1 splitter.
Here he comes to the payoff pitch. And just misses away with a cutter, but another challenge coming here from Rushing. He's going to try and put bookend Ks on this first inning with challenges.
The sinker onto a lefty, and now the cutter backdooring to a lefty.
And both of them successful overturns from Rushing. Helping Yamamoto work a 1-2-3 first. The Dodgers come to bat after this. Dalton Rushing, 2 successful challenges in that first inning, and Dave Roberts, the birthday boy, loving it. Happy 54th to the Dodgers skipper, who said his motto is "Don't let the old man in." Guy's 54 going on 24. Lineup that he sends up there today, presented by your SoCal Helpful Honda dealers, looks like this. Same group over the first 5 in the order. Muncie's back in there at third base. Different look down at the bottom. Ryan Ward makes his Dodger Stadium debut with Rushing, catching, and Alex Freeland at second base, hitting 9. They face off with a 23-year-old rookie, Andrew Painter, former first-round pick. Ohtani jumps on the first pitch that he throws and hooks it foul down the line. In early May, Painter had a 7 ERA. Last 3 starts, though, he's got a 2.60. Pitched into the 7th inning for the first time in his young career against Cleveland in his last start. Ohtani cracks a base hit to right to start the day, and promptly extends his on-base streak to 16 games.
Big leaguers can time a bullet, and for Painter, he throws it 98, 99 miles an hour, but it's pretty straight. That one on the inner half, Ohtani didn't miss.
Shohei's aboard. Pages is coming up, leading the majors at those 50 runs batted in. Pages doubled yesterday for his first hit of this series and came in to score. 8 extra base hits in his last 7 games as he continues to make his case to head to Philadelphia for the All-Star game. One ball, one strike. The Dodgers yesterday out-hit the Phillies. They had 9 hits. Didn't have a home run, though. And when they fail to homer this season, they're 7-13 compared to 30-8 when they do go deep. Meanwhile, the Phillies have the 2 home runs, the great equalizer. We can talk all we want about bat to ball, hitting for average, putting the pressure on, and noble qualities that you, of course, want. The surest path forward to winning games is hitting the ball out of the park. On a 1-1 pitch, Pages pulls his hands in, and he's ahead 2-1.
It was an odd game yesterday. It felt like the Dodgers should be way ahead, but because they went 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position, left 8 guys on base, it felt like they should be farther ahead, but didn't ever stretch the lead.
It didn't have much room for error for a bullpen that's been almost perfect over the last month. Here's a high line drive, deep center field. Crawford going back onto the track, makes the catch, and bangs into the wall. Justin Crawford looking like his daddy.
Well, he had a face plant there into the padding.
Wow, what a play.
It was a great play. I thought has hit it out, but this ball stays in the park, and he makes sure it hits leather. Fantastic job taking the shock of the padding. Your whole body hits there, the sunglasses and all, but pops up and gets the ball in the infield quick.
Ball hits leather, face hits wall. That's the third flyout to the warning track the last 2 days for Pages. One away in this first inning, and it brings up Freddie Freeman. Had a single yesterday as we take a look at working on a win presented by the Home Depot. Freeman over his last 10 games hitting above 350 with 8 extra base hits. OPS well above MVP territory over those 10 games. And you go back a few further, Freeman's got a 13-game on-base streak going. On a 1-0 from Painter, swings and misses.
Painter throws the slider right there. He doesn't throw as many of those to lefties as he does righties. To righties, it's mostly sweeper slider. To lefties, more curveball and splitter.
Splitter he threw 23 times against Cleveland in his last start, by far the most that he has in his young major league career. That's a pitch that he added last year because he was struggling so bad against left-handed hitters, but he's been much better against lefties this year. He'll need that today. 7 of the hitters that'll come up against him will be lefties. Painter was a first-round pick out of high school in Florida, and within a year he was their minor league pitcher of the year. He was ready to break camp with the team as a 19-year-old before his elbow gave out during a late spring training game. Missed 2 full years coming back from Tommy John surgery, and so last year in AAA, shaking off the rust. Just misses right here. Count goes full on Freeman. So he's coming back from the injury. He's still learning how to pitch, learning how to game plan at the professional level. Mentioned added the splitter. That also led to blisters as he was getting the new grip. So he was dealing with all kinds of stuff last year. He put it all together. Top prospect in the system, had a 5.50 ERA in AAA. Numbers can be misleading, though. It's a really tough place to pitch. And his broken camp with the big league club, still just 23 years of age. He walks Freeman, and the Dodgers are at first and second. Got a challenge coming here from Real Muto, though. And it's overturned, so strike 3. Well-used challenge right there for Real Muto, who is one of the most successful challengers. He just does it less than anybody. He uses his own right there to get Painter his first strikeout. And it brings Mookie Betts to the plate. 3 for 4 yesterday with a double. 2 3-hit games this year, both of them coming on this homestand.
Got off the I-highway yesterday with those 3 hits. Now hitting 200 and looking like he's starting to find himself.
200 for the first time since the first few days of the year before he went on the injured list. And we know we talk about him pulling the ball in the air being a good sign, but it was nice to see him spraying it around the park yesterday too. Different kinds of spraying the ball, and the way that he was spraying it was encouraging.
Well, especially when it's line drives, of course. Spraying it means you're hitting it to all fields like you're talking about, but he was hitting it with authority to all fields.
Tight slider right there, 2-1. And then the sweeper, similar pitch, just slower and a bigger break to it.
He is looking for swing and miss pitches. He's looking for something that he can get a higher whiff rate with.
Here's 2-2. It is down and away, and the count is full.
All these pitches, and He can make people chase, but he has a very high contact rate when they're chasing. So they're picking up something. Even though the ball is not a strike, they're finding ways to put it in play and still find some hits off of him.
See that 373 average against his fastball? He's used the fastball way less the last few starts, and we've talked about he's been much better. The league's crushing that pitch. Stay away from it. Now, you can only stay away from your fastball so much, but when you have that many other options, there's a lot of options to pick up the slack if you're going to drop the usage on the four seam.
I'm going to watch a few more pitches, but I think I have an idea why people are hitting his fastball.
Cliffhanger.
2 outs, 2 strikes.
Yeah. Just outside, ball 4. Been some close pitches in this first inning. Betts takes the walk, and they're at first and second. And so the game very quickly finds Kyle Tucker, who's trying to find his swing. That extra work yesterday, not just batting practice, but was on the field even before that, hitting the velocity machine. Almost never will hit on the field. And Dave Roberts is saying before the game today, yeah, you love that he's doing that extra work, but it's also pretty telling where his headspace is. That he's going out of his way to try and get things unlocked. Followed that change in routine with an 0 for 4 and is hitting just 135 in his last 10.
If you find something in practice, you need to find some results in the game to say, I'm doing the right stuff. I've made the right changes. We talked about it yesterday with Will Smith about how the peripherals are saying that he's right where he wants to be, but finding results, even though your exit velocities are good and your angles coming out and you're feeling good, results are not the frosting on the cake all the time. They sometimes become the cake.
You know, for a lot of May, it was kind of the other way around with him, where he was starting to get some hits, but like Dave was saying today, it still didn't quite look right. And then lately, hasn't had the cake either. Single from Ohtani, walk from Betts. 1-2 to Tucker. He gets up on that fastball, flies it to center field for Crawford. And without Justin Crawford, the Dodgers might be on the board in this inning. What a fantastic defensive play. Helps Andrew Painter put up a 0 in the first. Last 6 games, those are the numbers. Last 4 games, a 137. That's 4 games in a row. The starter's given up just 1. And now Yamamoto, who has reasserted himself his last couple starts as the guy. Worked a 1-2-3 first inning. Goes to work against Brandon Marsh. And starts him with a splitter downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Now Marsh yesterday was 0 for 2. And then even though he's the cleanup guy, even though he's second in the National League hitting .323, was pinch hit for with a game on the line late. And at first it didn't work. Edmundo Sosa struck out with the bases loaded, and it's like, what are we doing? Pinch hitting for your cleanup guy, and then it doesn't work. Easy to second guess, but 2 innings later, Sosa was the guy that hit the game-winning home run. And you learn a little bit about Brandon Marsh, who was one of the first guys there to cheer Sosa on when he got back to the dugout after that game-winning home run. Said he had chills watching Sosa do it, even though he had been removed.
Tanner Scott and the Dodgers and the pitching contingent would tell you that it was a mistake that he hit because he's such a free swinger and they threw him a strike.
It was an old demon spooking Scott yesterday. The 2-strike demons from last year. All 3 of the base runners that they had in that 2-out rally against Scott came with 2 strikes. Scott had given up 3 runs all year, and then 3 in the 8th in the 4-3 Phillies win. Kick in the 2-2.
Dodgers were 2-strike hitters yesterday. Actually out hit the Phillies with 2 strikes, but those 3 2-strike hits in the same inning that 8th. Yeah, burned you. Alex Call, great 2-strike hitter yesterday again.
Here's payoff. We'll do it again. Yamamoto 1-2-3 first inning with a pair of strikeouts. Both strikeouts came looking, and that's the category where he's had the biggest drop off in his strikeouts from last year. He's had more chase than usual, just not as many strikeouts looking. Tries into the payoff to Marsh. You can see him really measured going through that windup, and he said he felt like he turned a corner a couple starts ago after focusing on that pause in the middle of his delivery.
Precision mechanics with a precision mind. Baseball located accurately. And he is so good at setting up the lever system. That's one thing that these kind of stops and starts that he makes get him into the right positions. It doesn't look as athletic until he leaves the rubber, and then he starts to look like a real athlete, but he sets it up over the rubber.
Loses Marsh. First base runner for the Phillies comes on a Brandon Marsh walk.
Yamamoto's rhythm would probably feel really stagnant to a lot of pitchers. They like to get the rock and fire like Ohtani does, like very old school. Some rhythm to the hip turn and the shoulder turn, but Yamamoto likes to just set it up statically and then turn into an athlete as he moves forward.
Out of the stretch for the first time, misses with his first toss to Alec Bohm. Bohm, like Sosa, ended a long skid with a home run yesterday. Bohm went into yesterday's game 3 for his last 25 and then cranked his 6th. One of the many struggling right-handed hitters on this Phillies roster. He's ahead 2-0. Here's that home run. Phillies have had Schwarber and Harper doing it for a lot of the season, but they need right-handed hitters like Bohm to rediscover their swings.
Yeah, the way he's swinging the bat, that was definitely a surprise.
Bohm, former 3rd pick of the draft. Now in his 7th and final season of his initial contract. 285 hitter the last 2 years, so this has been shocking to see him down around 200. And not a good year for that to happen, of course, headed into free agency. Hard enough playing baseball, and then you think about what he's dealt with off of the field. First, all the rumors that he's going to get traded. He's been dealing with that for years. Phillies went hard after Bo Bichette to get him to play third base this winter. Bichette obviously chooses the Mets, but you know, Bohm's heard that they're trying to replace him. And then the crazier part is what has been an ongoing legal battle against his parents, who allegedly have mismanaged his finances. And it's just gotten ugly, a heartbreaking situation. One of those reminders that these are people before they're players, dealing with real life stuff, and then in some cases like this one, unreal stuff.
That going on within your family could make your batting average drop in a hurry. There are so many fine edges between average and good and great.
Speaking of great, the jump right there from Marsh, but Yamamoto wasn't headed home yet, and he's going to throw him out. Calmly, just like we were talking about, calmly through to the delivery, calmly steps off of the rubber and retires Marsh.
You know, you're concentrating on getting the hitter out, and then you hear step off, and then you go, there's no runner at first. I'll turn and throw to second. Very nicely done.
Another long AB going here. Here's his payoff pitch to Marsh, or to Bohm. Strikes him out. A little extra on that sinker to get his 3rd K.
That sinker is getting a lot of strikeouts. This one on a swing, but most of them have been looking when he struck people out with that pitch.
So 3 for Yamamoto. 4 more for Jumbo Jacks. Base is empty, 2 out. The hitter's Bryson Stott is ready for this road trip to come to an end. He's 0 for 17 on this trip.
Dalton Rushing took that one, yeah, checking the jaw and the ringing in the ears, I'm sure. You can always say the mask works, and it does, but there's still a pretty severe impact.
It's only the second guy out of the first 6 that have come up that Yamamoto's gotten first pitch strike on. Now here he comes with the 1-1. Stott chases up 1-2.
I'm going to tease you for next inning because Painter is 6'7" and Yamamoto is 5'10". And we're going to isolate their back legs when Painter comes back out. Yamamoto gets more extension than Painter. 6'7" against 5'10", and 5'10" gets more extension, gets closer to the hitter than Painter.
So what should we be looking for here?
Yamamoto's back leg doesn't collapse.
It'll be his right leg here.
Yep. He maintains his height, and then he takes it down the hill. So when you maintain your height, you have more time to get closer to the hitter. And so Yamamoto, when he gets to the top of his leg kick, he is going forward because his hips are taking him forward, not a collapse of the back leg. And he gets over 6.5 feet of extension.
Poke to left field. Here comes Ryan Ward to make a running catch. And so Yamamoto has faced the minimum through 2.
MLB Network 24/7 and select out-of-market games every week. Plus 5 radio broadcasts of every game, game day 3D, big inning, and minor league action. Visit MLB.com/MLB Plus to subscribe today.
Series rubber match is scoreless as we go to the bottom of the second. Max Muncy leads off against Andrew Painter, who's in there with strike 1, 6-7. Andrew Painter. So the extension that you're talking about, why is that such a big deal?
Well, it's the reaction time for the hitter, and also how long the hitter has to see the ball. And so when he collapses his back leg, he gets closer to the ground quicker, and his pitches come out a little bit more level, getting rid of his asset, which is his height. His fastball and his breaking ball and his splitter and everything could have better angle, but over the rubber, he leaves the rubber by collapsing that back leg, and he has 0.1 less extension than Yamamoto, but he's 9 inches taller. And so he used that height and took his lever system down the hill farther by not collapsing his back leg. It's like a stall, and he's not only stalling, he's getting shorter, and he's having to throw the ball farther.
Muncy somehow gets his hands in and drops that ball into right field for a base hit. Garcia with his arm will ensure that Muncy hangs on with a leadoff single.
Here's both deliveries at the same time. Yamamoto on your left, you'll keep his back leg strong and tall, and then Painter just collapses it. His butt drops down to the mound, and everything comes out a little bit more level. One guy throwing 98, 99 level fastballs with less extension, but he has the asset of his height. Yamamoto's using all of his ability. Painter's using about 3/4 of his ability.
Pumps in a strike to Ryan Ward, who's making his Dodger Stadium debut. Major League debut with a couple games at Coors Field about a month ago. And back to the big leagues with the injury to Teoscar Hernandez. A lot of friends and family in attendance today for a big day for Ryan, who pops this one down the line foul. He was an 8th-round draft pick and then spent 7 seasons in the minors. And that's not because he wasn't hitting in the minors. Especially the last couple years has been awesome. 36 home runs and 122 batted in last year on his way to winning PCL MVP. 1 ball and 2 strikes on him. He's out of Millbury, Massachusetts. Small town just outside of Worcester. From there to Bryant University in Rhode Island. Not exactly the path of a big league star, but he's made it here to the major leagues. It's on this breaking pitch and pokes it foul. He's always had power. A lot of strikeouts, though. That's often a combination you'll see when guys have to spend as long as he did in the minor leagues. Key thing for him last year wasn't necessarily just the home runs and the runs batted in. It's that he cut his strikeout rate in half, and that made him a viable option. 2-2 on Ward.
Bottom of the order for the Dodgers was most of their production last night.
Ward down on strikes. 97-mile-per-hour fastball. 1 gone in the second.
The other thing about that collapsing of the back leg with Painter is that he loses his motor, and so then the motor for throwing the ball as hard as he does is just spinning the front hip and the front shoulder. And so easier to see, coming out level. He's got a chance to be really good if he can fix that.
Strike 1 on Dalton Rushing. So let me ask you this. There's a lot of things that you could focus on when you're putting your delivery together. Should maximizing extension be at the top of the priority list?
Top of the priority list for me is your posture at the beginning of the delivery, so that when you start your first movement, it is something that you can continue to multiply up through your body. So I would always concentrate on the lower half, because the upper half responds to what the lower half does, and the lower half is the first thing that moves. So what you do on the lower half, you talk to hitters, you talk to pitchers, you talk to infielders and their footwork. It's all about the lower half if you want to be consistent and work to your fullest potential. If the lower half is not working properly in any of these athletic movements, your upper half is fighting and adjusting to whatever the lower half did wrong.
1-2 to Rushing is skied on the infield. Bohm comes in behind the mound and makes the catch. 2 away.
If you do the lower half consistently, Joe, you end up with a World Series MVP in Yamamoto and pitching the next night with no rest.
All right, so if you're going through the checklist, first thing is make sure you have your lower half and your posture figured out. What comes next when I'm putting together my delivery?
Well, if you're in a windup, the first move, your step back. But if your windup as nowadays, which is barely just moving your free leg, just maintaining that posture so that you're accentuating the buildup of your power.
Okay, maybe I'm not asking it right then. So what is the priority list? Not what's the order of what you're doing.
I would say knee flex, more over the balls of your feet, which his looks really good here.
Freeland lifts his fly ball to center field. Crawford's going back onto the track. He'll turn and watch it hit off the wall. Muncy rounds third, heads for the plate. Relay from Turner, not in time. Alex Freeland puts the Dodgers ahead. A double off of the wall in center field, and it's 1-0 in the second.
As far as execution of the relay and the running of the bases by Max Muncy, it was all well done. But there is a little bobble in this run scoring. Right here, Trey Turner can't get it out of his glove right away, and it took him a while. He could have started his turn instead of having his back to home plate. With the throw coming to him, he has his back to home plate. He should be side saddle and be able to get rid of that ball quicker.
So Muncy's able to score all the way from first, and the Dodgers on the board first. Ohtani with 2 away. Looks at ball 1.
We can get back to the pitching, but the offense right now, I'm excited for the Dodgers and Yamamoto because he needs some run support. He has struggled over the last 2 years to have the Dodgers break on top with him.
Man, oh man, they are challenging a
Phillies
lot.
catcher is challenging the pitch.
Sean Barber not having his best day. It is overturned, and it's 1-1 on
Phillies will have
Ohtani.
2 remaining challenges.
Sunny day, maybe a little glare in the umpire's eyes. Catchers are seeing it right.
It's already 4 overturned calls. Ball 2 on Ohtani, whose single in the first inning extended his on-base streak to 16 games, and he's hitting .400 in that time. And it's not just been peppering singles. He's got 10 extra base hits, got an RBI per game during that stretch. Now on this 2-1 from Painter, it takes a strike, and it's 2-2. Three and two.
Shohei's got to be, he's got to lead the league in yells.
Oh yeah.
Man, foul balls, balls at him, foul balls back at somebody, into the dugout.
Leads the league in YAR, yells above replacement.
Yeah. Leads the league in apologies. Absence of malice in the elite off the chart ability.
Popped off of the hands and out of play. Whole thing is kind of a paradox, isn't it? When you look at just the biggest of superstars who still is kind of mysterious,
Childlike at times,
but so serious at times. I think you see it. Easiest demarcation is between the hitting and the pitching. The hitting is where you see more childlike. The pitching is where you see him on a mission. Swings himself out of the helmet right here for strike 3. And it ends the inning. But it's Alex Freeland out of the 9th spot to get the scoring going. Net LA is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires. On an Alex Freeland double, the Dodgers have a 1-0 lead as we move along to the 3rd. Joe, Orel, and Kirsten, and Yamamoto to face JT Realmuto at the bottom of the lineup for the Phils here. 1 walk, but picked that guy off, and so has faced the minimum through 2. With 3 strikeouts. Coming off back-to-back 7 innings, 1-run performances. Ball and a strike, and we go down to Kirsten.
Thanks, Joel. As you and Orel were just breaking down when it comes to Yoshinobu Yamamoto's delivery and how intentional he is as he's coming down the mound, that's exactly what his focus is in between starts when he's working with Yada Sensei. He's often throwing the javelins, and with each throw, he's essentially recreating his delivery. Yada has explained to me that the focus is everything with your core. Everything starts with your center of gravity as the trunk of your purpose. And so with that, the focus for him is understanding how his upper half and his lower half are moving at the same, but also both sides, the left and the right of him, are moving equally as well. So that has been what he's been so most intentional about when it comes to his delivery and creating that balance. And Yada Sensei has even shared that he believes it's the same thing across whether it's pitching, catching, or even throwing the ball. And so that was also the focus he had for Mookie Betts, guys.
All right, Kirsten, and good luck coming up with a title for what Yada is. Biomechanics guy, spiritual leader. If you ask Yada, he'd say loudmouth grandpa.
Exactly.
But a life-changing guy in Yamamoto's career and in his journey. 2-2 to Realmuto. Hit him.
Hit him with the four-seamer. Yamamoto today has been using the sinker a lot more against these Phillies. This one was some tailing action of the four-seamer. But he's over doubled the use of his sinker today against the Phillies and found it very effective.
I don't know if that hit his hand. He's choking up pretty aggressively there. I thought it maybe hit the end of the bat. No, I think maybe hand first. I was probably close to getting an invitation down there to look at the bruise on his hand.
Well, in my day, the hitters were taught to start pinching through their glove at their hand to make their hand red if they were faking it out.
And so you can add a bruise to the life of the catcher here. Realmuto's aboard. Second inning in a row, the Phillies have put the leadoff man on. Training staff takes a look. They'll let him be, and up comes Adolis Garcia.
Rarely do you see catchers come out of the game.
Adolis Garcia.
They're so used to pain.
Garcia's who's continued to be great defensively for the Phillies, just trying to get that bat going. He was 0 for 4, 3 Ks yesterday, and is now 3 for his last 51. Need his bat and would love to have his spirit and joy that comes when he has that bat. Back to his time in Texas when he was so good. He's also an emotional leader. Fuel that whole team.
Well, with the pitching that the Phillies are getting, there is a chance if a few of these resumes like Turner and Bohm and Realmuto and Garcia start playing up to the back of their baseball card, the Phillies could turn into a team that you really got to look out for. But there's a lot of people think that a lot of these guys have gotten old and it might not be coming back.
Well, the problem with Garcia is this is not a new thing. He's not been the guy that he was in that World Series run since that run. Down on strikes right here. Fastballs by him, and that's just what teams have done against him. And that usually is one of the first signs that age is getting to you. He's only 33, though. I mean, he should still have another few years.
Yeah, and it should be at 33. It's kind of a transition year where you're learning to apply yourself slightly differently because you are a little different. It's been a long transition for him, and you don't know where it's headed.
Here's Crawford taking a strike. Crawford had excellent defensive play early in this game, and he got lost in the home run yesterday, but he was the one that started that 8th inning rally with a 2-strike base hit the other way. Justin was dealing with an 0 for 23 going into Wednesday's game at Petco Park. He snapped that and followed it with a big hit yesterday. Muncy gets there, shovels to Freeland. Heck of a play by Max Muncy.
Max has worked so hard on his defense, his footwork, his first steps, his hands, his transfer, his arm angle, all of it has improved. And here's one you don't practice, and he gets it done perfectly.
Big out right there with Schwarber coming up. Struck out his first time, 2 for 9 in this series with 5 strikeouts. Dodgers 1, Phillies nothing. Top of the 3rd. Yamamoto delivers and Schwarber cuts and misses.
This is Phillies offense when it functions. When Schwarber's up there with somebody on, they all of a sudden can score in a hurry.
Same attack all weekend from Dodger pitching. Yamamoto's continuing that with the fastball. Getting the strike on Schwarber. Phillies are 5 for 31 with 16 strikeouts against four-seam fastballs this weekend. Splitter puts him ahead 1-2.
Yeah, with Schwarber, they have not really thrown the same pitch twice in a row. They've gone something hard and then something soft, something hard then something soft, something in then something away. They don't want to show him any patterns.
Wave and a miss over a curve. Yamamoto's got 5 strikeouts over 3 and a 1-0 lead.
On June 16th, presented by Bank of America. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for more information.
2, 3, and 4 for the Dodgers coming up here in the third. It's Andy Pages to take a first pitch breaking ball away. He, the last couple days, has had 3 flyouts, 370 feet or deeper. This one, 399, and Crawford took a hit away from him.
That's the kind of catch out there. If Justin Turner was still on the team, the next batting practice, he'd have a taped outline of Crawford's body out there.
Here comes the 2-1 pitch. And the count evens 2-2. Kind of some similarities between Andrew Painter and Roki Sasaki in that both come with big time expectations and probably unfairly high expectations at times. And then you remember that they're both only 23 years old. A pop fly on the diamond on this very bright day. Who's going to find it? It will be Trey Turner. And now both find themselves navigating those expectations and being given the chance by their teams to do it at the major league level, because while the expectations are maybe too high, it's also the other side of that is going down to AAA and trying to figure it out. They're probably not going to do them a whole lot of good either. So both teams comfortable having these guys essentially be the 5th starter at this point and grow in the big leagues. Here's Freddie Freeman with 1 gone, taking ball 1.
Projected big league elite ability.
Phillies catcher is challenging the pitch.
Have a day.
Oof.
Phillies have 2 remaining challenges.
But elite big league projected ability really can't develop sometimes at AA and AAA because their ability is too dominant, and they're not shown where they need to improve until they face failure at the big league level, because they're going to have too much success and there's not going to be a reason to change or a reason for them to think they need to change. So you have to be in the big league sometimes to say, see, that doesn't work, and then they believe you and then they start to change.
Freeman ricochets this one off Painter, and he's got an infield hit. And his on-base streak is 14 games. 2nd infield hit of the weekend for Freeman.
A bullet of a comebacker. Watch out.
After Realmuto's successful challenge, Freddie giving JT a hard time. Take a little dirt on him. Dang you.
Didn't prevent him from getting a hit on the next pitch. Let's
get a word from Morongo.
Laugh It Up with Chico Bean. Live August 8th. Morongo.
Freeman's on. Mookie's up. The walk his first time. He's been on base 4 times the last game plus. Kind of a half swing, bounces it down to Bryce Harper, takes it himself. Into scoring position goes Freeman, 2 gone. Two outs and Tucker. Up in a similar situation in the first inning with men at first and second. Flied out. One for 17 on this homestand. Off the bag, and there's a little dose of fortune for Kyle Tucker. 2-0 Dodgers. Tucker drives in Freddie Freeman.
You need these oops hits. The results that becomes cake that maybe gives you some confidence to get things done in the future. Probably would tell you it was a good swing. I was just a little out in front, and I'm glad I was.
First RBI, the homestand for Tucker. And now Muncy grounds one past him, foul. Max scored the Dodgers' first run. Singling to open last inning, coming in to score on a double from Freeland. Easing his way back after he got hit on the wrist Friday night in Milwaukee last week. Swings and misses at this high fastball. The next couple days after that off. And just a couple starts through this homestand. One of those starts came against Zach Wheeler on Friday night. And had one of the 4 Dodger home runs against Wheeler. 13th of the year for Muncy, tied with Pages for the team lead. Another 0-2 from Painter.
Two-out damage is what the Dodgers have supplied to Painter today. Both RBI hits with 2 outs.
67 pitches through 2 2/3. In the air to left for Brandon Marsh, and that'll wrap things up for the Dodgers in the 3rd, but they tack on with a 2-out hit from Tucker. Brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack's new Smash Jack Sliders Munching Meal with a chance to win the $75,000 prize for Jack's 75th anniversary. A run in the 2nd and a run in the 3rd for the Dodgers. Along to the 4th we go. Trey Turner leads off. First one from Yamamoto is a curve in the dirt. So 5 strikeouts so far for Yamamoto, and he's got them on 4 different pitches.
Yeah, different pitches, but it has been the hard stuff where the success has been. 0 for 6 against all his hard stuff with 4 of those Ks.
Phillies still looking for their first hit against him. A leadoff walk and a leadoff hit batter, but no hits. Even though he's fallen behind a little more than we're used to seeing. 2-0 here to Turner.
Could be a little bit of the lineup and what he saw last night, because when you watch a lineup as aggressive as they were against Sasaki last night, as far as swinging at the first strike and swinging at the first pitch, as the next night's starting pitcher, this one being a day game, you kind of take note of that and go, maybe I can make him chase a little bit more early on.
Little pop-up, shallow center, bat sprints out, won't get there. Turner's got the first hit of the game for Philly. A little dunk shot of a base hit into center.
It shows you how special you have to be to throw a no-hitter. Make a great pitch. You've only walked 1 batter. Nobody's gotten a hit. Hit it off the end of the bat, but the hitter hits it the exact right distance to fall in for a hit. That's why most no-hitters are thrown with a lot of strikeouts.
Bryce Harper takes a strike. It's the same idea why in the postseason, you get a challenge here from
Batter
Harper.
is challenging the strike ball.
You want as much swing and miss stuff as you can get, just because it takes the variance of batted balls out of
Phillies
play.
will have 2 remaining.
Yeah, and so ball on Harper.
The players are winning the scoreboard on challenges.
6 successful challenges against Sean Barber. The record for a game this season is 9. We got 6 through 3+.
So we're saying we've got a chance.
Yeah, could have some history today, Oral.
Right. I'm hanging on the edge of my seat. The point you just made about swing and miss in the playoffs, you know, it becomes more important when you have shorter time frame, of course, right? Over 162 games, swing and miss might not be as much, but you get into the short series, the wild card, the playoffs, the World Series. It's could be the difference in winning and losing a world championship.
I mean, if Will Smith doesn't get his heel down, we're praising the ability to put the ball in play to win a World Series. Dalton Varsho grounds it to second, and you know, you're an inch away from that being the whole story coming out of the thing. Another pop-up routine this time for Mookie Betts, and Harper's the first out of the 4th.
Yamamoto mixing in the curveball right there to take the sting out of the swing and get that pop-up.
Threw that curveball more than ever against Milwaukee in his last start.
Well, if you know they're going to make contact and that's what their goal is, if we take a look with Mookie, said the glasses are not working. I'm just going to get rid of those.
I want to look right into that big ball of fire.
I need sun in my eyes. But the curveball usage against Milwaukee was because he knows they're up there trying to make contact, put the ball in play, not strike out. So I've got to take the sting out of the bat so the exit velocity is a lot less. He capitalized on that by getting a lot of ground balls.
Got 7 innings in that game, just averaged 13 pitches per inning. When the batted ball gods are in your favor, the high amount of contact can be a great thing.
And we used to talk about that with Clayton Kershaw, right? Like he's like a hot knife going through butter, and he would just throw strike after strike after strike, either strike him out or get weak contact early. Kind of looking forward to more challenges.
Yeah, chasing history, buddy.
Since the no-hitter's out of the question now.
Where were you when? May 31st, 2026.
Wasn't that a last game of a homestand?
Splitter to get Marsh. And he's already doubled his strikeout total from last time. That's number 6.
Possibly the same stuff, but a different opponent and their approach to you. From a contact team to a swing hard, possibly miss team.
Swing and miss rate in this game is double the league average, about 50% whiff rate. Bohm with a base hit to left field. Started him with a curve. Bohm waited on it and yanked a base hit into left. And they're first and second with 2 out.
Yeah, it's Yoshi's steal a strike pitch usually.
Number 5, Bryson Stott.
Slider speed bat right now, can't catch up to a fastball, but he can catch up to a curveball, the off speed.
Gives Bryson Stott a 2-out chance here. Finishing off a month of May where he was a whole lot better. No home runs and 5 runs batted in over the first month. 5 homers and 20 batted in here in May. Puts him top 10 in the majors in runs batted in May. Not a guy you usually think of as a big run producer. This is kind of continuation of something he changed last year. No, by the way, a challenge.
I think this one's low. I think he gets this one right. Not Dalton.
Hey.
Los Angeles will have 1 remaining challenge.
First unsuccessful challenge.
Congratulations.
And by the way, Realmuto's spot is next, and they've got Marchand, the backup catcher there. Realmuto hit on the hand his last time. Anyways, Stott, though, last season he was really struggling and then made some pretty serious changes. Lowered his hands, quieted his setup. There was a lot going on in his setup and in his swing. And had a much better final couple months. He's continued that this year with one of the biggest increases in hard hit rate of any hitter in baseball. Superpower before was just the ability to put the bat on the ball, and not much talk beyond that about how hard he was hitting it. More authority, though. They're in his 5th year in the majors, 28 years of age out of Las Vegas. Turner at second, Bohm at first. The 1-2 from Yamamoto. Stott grew up in Vegas idolizing Bryce Harper even before Harper became a big thing in the national picture. He was a big thing on the local baseball scene in Las Vegas, and Stott was one of the younger kids looking up to him.
And that thin air in Las Vegas and the wind, Bryce Harper hit a lot of balls through those years, a long way, got a lot of headlines.
Cover of Sports Illustrated as a 16-year-old. You think about everything Bryce Harper's done in his career to deliver on the expectations that come with being on the cover of SI as a teenager is pretty darn impressive. Another 1-2. Stott fouls it again. Harper's in his 15th year. 33 years old. It's his 15th season in the majors. Adjusted OPS of 140, which means even in his 15th season he's 40% better than your average major league hitter. 2-time MVP and still doing it at an exceptionally high level.
He could play another 7 years. He could play till he's 40.
He's got another 5 on his deal. It's through his age 38 season. Hard to believe, but he's been with the Phillies longer than he was with the Washington Nationals. 7 years with the Nationals. This is his 8th with Philly. Deuces wild in the fourth. 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2 from Yamamoto. This one put in play to left center field. Ward and Pages. It's Ryan Ward, and it's 2-0 Dodgers to the bottom of the fourth.
Be on June 5th. Presented by Blue Shield of California. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for more information.
68 pitches through 3 innings for Painter. Comes into this game on a hot streak. The Dodgers really making him work. Tanner Banks is getting loose. Phillies are off tomorrow before starting a homestand on Tuesday. So Don Mattingly ready to be aggressive with that pen. Rafael Marchand does indeed replace Real Muto behind the plate as Ryan Ward leads off this inning for LA. Rushing and Freeland to follow. Ward cranks one down the line. It is a big league home run for Ryan Ward. In his first game at Dodger Stadium, he hits his first major league home run.
The moment he will never forget. And they don't give him the silent treatment. They are right there with him celebrating.
.156 of those in his minor league career, and probably many moments where he wondered if he'd ever get one at this level. 36 of them for Oklahoma City last year, 34 of them the year before that. Homer after homer, but day after day goes by without getting that call up. We talk about it often. Blessing and a curse of being in this organization. As Rushing pops it up on the right side of the diamond. He's somebody that could talk to you about that. Harper battles the sun and makes the catch. Of course, you get the amazing player development. You get to say you're with the World Series winning franchise, but the barrier of entry so high. And Ryan has said that, yeah, you can think about getting traded to another organization, having the path clear, but it was very important to him that he didn't just make it to the big leagues, but that he did it with the organization that drafted him. Even as big as that barrier is to get to the big leagues, it's a point of pride for him to crack through with this team. So the Dodgers lead 3-0. All 3 runs knocked in from the bottom part of the order. Alex Freeland drove in the first with a double. And a ball and a strike on him here. Freeland getting another chance, just like Ward is. Ward comes up with the injury to Teoscar Hernandez. Freeland back up with the injury to Kike Hernandez, and then Ha-Seong Kim's continued struggles. And so Freeland, who the Dodgers were happy with, is just a product of a roster crunch, ready to give him a little bit more of a runway right here. And in talking with people around the team, they're like, yeah, we want to give him that. Circumstances meant that it ended a little bit earlier than they would have liked, but it's pretty much unanimous. There's confidence that if this guy is given enough at-bats, he's going to show that he's an above-average hitter. You see the defense, and that gives you a really valuable homegrown player.
I love the attitude, too. I think underneath the skin a little bit, when the confidence comes from the production, he's going to be the kind of guy that brings a lot of energy in the locker room, on the airplane, on the team bus, and on the field for sure.
What's it take before you can exert that influence?
Well, it's a mutiny if you do it without the production and there's other leaders. But you can be part of the crew when all of a sudden the production and the confidence start to come, and you're more feeling like you're not wrapped by the blanket of the big leagues, but you're part of the fabric, and that's when it starts to really blossom.
Waits on this 2-2 from Painter. Golfs one down the line, hooking towards the corner. That'll wrap inside the pole and leave the yard. Freeland adds a home run to his double. And the guys back from Oklahoma City getting the job done for LA. It's 4-0.
Left-handed hitters are doing a number on Painter. They're 7 for 14. So yeah, that's 500. And now 2 home runs. Left-handed dominance today from the Dodgers. Low and in lefty. Danger zone. And it is.
And it is the end of the day for Painter. Ward and Freeland, who were having breakfast together this morning about an hour before the ball game, talking about, hey, isn't this cool that we're back here getting to do it together? And even cooler once the game gets started. They both go deep. Deep out of the bottom of the Dodger lineup. Those are home runs 23 and 24 this year for the Dodgers from 7 through 9 in the order. That's the most in the majors. A moment that he'll never forget. His first game at Dodger Stadium, his first career home run. And those guys continue to share smiles as it goes around back to the top of the order. And Ohtani launches the ball to the left field corner, but just got it off the end, and Marshall track it down. Ryan Ward and Alex Fiona saying, come on over here, show. We'll tell you how to. You just got to hit it a little farther, a little harder. You keep trying, though. You can be like us.
Well, the guy stepping to the plate has hit it a lot farther than those two, but hasn't gotten anything to show for it in the last 2 games.
3 flyouts to the warning track plus for Andy Pages. Tanner Banks, the new pitcher for the Phillies. Numbers not pretty. The left-handed relief corps for the Phillies this year pretty much has all struggled. It's a guy who last year had an ERA around 3. Up above 6 this year, though. Pages the third for Alec Bohm. On to the 5th we go, but the Dodgers double the lead here in the 4th. Yamamoto's got to feel a little disoriented here. What is this? Run support? 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. And 4 more goose eggs put up by Yamamoto. Rafael Marchand, his first at-bat of the ball game, replacing Real Muto. Takes curveball in the dirt. 1-0. Bottom of the order for the Phils with Garcia and Crawford to follow. Only 2 hits in this game for Philadelphia. They've needed the pitching to have this season turned around. The offense continues to search for it. It looked to be away, but no challenge from Marchand. And the count's 1-1. Bounced over the mound. Betts charges with the catcher running. It's still not going to have a chance. And an infield hit from Marchand to lead off this 5th. This is the 4th inning in a row. The Phillies have had the leadoff man on, but Yamamoto's been able to navigate around it to this point.
He's posting the zeros, but he's not been as efficient as we normally would like for him. Pitch count starting to climb. And he's the guy, like this rotation, that has been going deep into games. Now that he's got the run support, maybe get a quick double play here to be more efficient.
That's what he did against Milwaukee last week. He's upstairs with his first one to Adolis Garcia. Ace qualities for Yamamoto. Dave Roberts was talking about that before the game today. He said, number 1, he beats the good teams. He's trying to do that today against Philadelphia. Number 2, Dave said he manages stress. He can take a punch early in the game and then still give you length. We talk about his first inning problems. But then the next thing you talk about is how he goes 7 innings pretty much every time. He's done so 4 times in his last 7 starts, even though that includes that rough stretch where he had an ERA around 5. And as Kirsten told us off at the top today, 13 times the last 2 years where he's gone 7 innings. Only Logan Webb has done so more in the National League. 6 with the fastball, and if it ain't broke, why fix it against Garcia? Another strikeout on a fastball his first time. Gotten back the strikeout stuff today. Had 3 consecutive 8 strikeout games before the 3K game against Milwaukee. He's got 6 and 2 strikes on Garcia.
80 pitches, no outs here in the 5th. That run support, he wants to at least get through the 5th. Put yourself in line for a W.
Strikes out Garcia.
That fastball had some life. It was working its way in. It was working its way to a grill. Some hamburgers come with that one.
Number 2, Justin Crawford.
For free. 7th one for Yamamoto, and so free jumbo jacks for everybody tomorrow. 1 out in the 5th inning. Justin Crawford climbs in. We were talking about the swing and miss version of him, and then the version of him we saw last week where there was a lot of early and soft contact. What do you think the best version of him is? Is it the version that racks up the strikeouts? Is it the more efficient Robleski-like ball and play? Is it somewhere in the middle?
I think he can play both games for sure. I think he can put people away and have a huge strikeout game, and I think he can establish a lot of weak contact. For me, it all begins with his fastball efficiency. When he's edgy on both sides of the plate at the right height, that's where I really think his dominance begins. Because it just sets up so much. It sets up he can go elevate that fastball, or he can throw the splitter out of those windows. And that will lead to just putting people away and striking out a ton of people, or being efficient, getting weak contact early.
Floated to right center field. Pages on the run. Andy Pages can't quite get there. It's up against the wall. Marchand stopped at 3rd. Crawford at 2nd.
I think Andy's there. I think he just kind of misreads it a little bit with the slide. There might be some glare off his glasses that all of a sudden put the ball in a different place. How far over his glove is it? Yeah, oh, just off the edge. So yeah, he was just inches away from it. The range factor.
And without his glove even really extended, so I think it is more like you're talking about, just didn't quite see it right.
Yeah, a little bit of a distraction with the angle and the lenses.
Visit here from Mark Pryor, and we get a word from Pizza Hut.
Los Angeles fans know who the real MVP is of game day grub, because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Bad time for that to happen with Kyle Schwarber coming up. It is ruled a double for Crawford. Schwarber trying to change this game with 1 swing, and the Phillies trying to repeat yesterday, coming from behind.
This is where it's different for Yamamoto, because he's gotten run support. So now you can think about trading a run for an out. Whereas if you're 0-0, 1-0, and you're losing, you're thinking about saving that run at 3rd no matter what. But here with a 4-run lead in the 5th, I'm thinking about just getting an out right here. If you happen to get to a count where you can strike him out, okay, go for it, maybe for 1 pitch. But don't risk a huge crooked number by trying to save that run at 3rd.
He has struck Schwarber out both times today. Gets a fastball by him. Still has not given up a hit against the hard stuff. Another hit against a curveball from Justin Crawford there. All 4 hits have come against curves or splitters. Marchand at 3rd, Crawford at 2nd. 0-1 on Schwarber. 0-2.
Fastball up and in that was perfectly executed. Now a cutter kind of low and in, trying to get under a swing, and he did. Now you can take 2 shots to try and strike him out. So those shots should be balls that look like strikes, end up balls, get the chase. Attempted it, wish it broke a little bit more. Probably too good for that count, and in his head, I'm sure he's judging his execution. Just not enough depth to that one.
Tries another 0-2 to Schwarber. Ooh, he heard the yell as he let it go.
Yep, you're just glad he pulled it foul because you hung it a little bit, and it's especially hung in. You know it's hung in that count. Trust your catcher, put it in the dirt.
Sinker, a little bit in.
Most of his strikeouts with the sinker are looking.
Guys give up on it. A lot of them against left-handed hitters like that. They give up on it. Just ducks back in at the last moment. Not quite there. So now 1-2. And the fastball takes off and gets Schwarber for the 3rd time.
This was a battle against the guy who owns the strike zone as a hitter, but Yamamoto owns the strike zone as a pitcher too, so this is tough. Perfect fastball here. Now the cutter right in the same place but lowered under the swing, and now he tries to put him away, and he's fortunate to get to a place where he can strike somebody out like Schwarber, because the 2 hangers and then Schwarber chases. Yamamoto got away with his mistake. Schwarber didn't get away with his chase.
Strike 1 on Trey Turner. Foundation of this grind for Yamamoto today has been not getting as many first pitch strikes. He's been behind for a lot of the day. Comes home with an 0-1. Big bouncer up along 3rd, but foul, and he's ahead 0-2.
I think that first pitch non-efficiency is residue from watching yesterday with their attack of early pitches.
And even with this grind, he's got a chance here to finish off 5 scoreless. 2nd and 3rd, 2 out. 0-2 to Trey Turner. Aggressive hitter. Takes strike 3 with a bullseye on a sinker. A challenge here from Turner.
Batter is challenging the strike call.
Trey says why not, especially the way today has gone. It was perfect. A 9th strikeout for Yamamoto finishes off a 5th scoreless inning.
Sixth, and get your exclusive Tyler Glasnow Starter Series bobblehead presented by Blue Shield. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for more information.
Freeway Series rematch coming up quick. Dodgers swept it down in Anaheim a couple weeks ago. Freddie Freeman starts the 5th for LA and fouls off the first one from Tanner Banks. Talking about Banks' struggles as a left-handed pitcher, he expected to get obviously left-handed hitters out, and lefties hitting above 340 against Banks. 7 of them in the Dodger lineup today. Freeman's 1 for 2. Singleton scored his last time and has reached base in 14 straight.
Phillies team notes trying to stretch a positive for Banks and just saying that left-handed hitters have not hit a home run off of him in 111 at bats.
So there's that.
Looking for something.
Count evens 2-2 on Freeman with Betts and Tucker to follow in this inning. And Dodgers ready to hit the road. 4-game series in Arizona against the Diamondbacks team that has dominated the teams that they should beat. Struggled against the good teams, though. Swing and a miss for the first out of the 5th. Arizona had won 11 of 13, but all 13 of those games came against the Giants or the Rockies, who are down at the bottom of the standings. They've gone up to Seattle, dropped the first 2 games of that series, and are tied at 1 in the 6th inning of the finale there. 4-game series beginning tomorrow night from Phoenix, where average temperature is going to be 105. Thank goodness for the roof at Chase Field.
Yes.
And polo shirts.
Packed a lot of them.
Figure we might just go shirtless.
Whoa, no.
Put the polo on.
Yeah. Shirtless, we'd have to go very soft focus.
Well, I can't really see him tonight. Careful what you wish for. 1-1 on Betts.
Or we could do like a Zoom call where you can put in a photo.
Yeah. Sheehan, Lauer, Ohtani, and Robleski. Starters lined up for the Dodgers in Arizona. Eduardo Rodriguez has been awesome. Is going to start the first game of that series with a 5-1 record and a 2.30 ERA. Soroka's been really good as well. He's got game 2, 7-2 with a 3.25 in his first season with the Diamondbacks. And it's Gallen and Nelson. All those games starting at 6:40. On a 2-1 from Banks, Betts leaves it upstairs for ball 3.
Mookie came into the game hitting 200. I'd like to see him get a hit here today to keep it up there and keep climbing.
Challenge.
Philadelphia's catcher is challenging the pitch.
Overturn. 7th
Philadelphia
overturn
has 1
call.
remaining challenge.
2 shy of the most in this first year of the ABS challenge system.
We're only halfway home.
Wow.
Might shatter the record.
I wasn't sure if we weren't going to get another there. Instead, it's a 1-out walk for Mookie, his second free pass taken today. It's so hard on the umpires. I mean,
but I actually think the ABS has made them better. And it is not a large margin that's made them better, but it just has a feeling to me that there's more concentration on every single pitch.
Tucker. Well, the old adage is that you grow what you measure, and we're now doing a better job of measuring, and it didn't take ABS to get there. In recent years, with the advancements in technology, there have been more accurate grading of umpires. But one way to lack any kind of clarity on how you're trying to get better is not have a metric that you're trying to shoot for. Even if you have in your head an arbitrary idea of I want to call a good strike zone, if you're not putting numbers to it, not as good of a chance you're going to see improvement. Here's a line drive to deep right field that's over the head of Garcia. Tucker heads for second, and he'll get there. 2 for his last 2. That's a good sign. Second and third with 1 away.
Nice job from Kyle Tucker with this swing and hitting this one a lot harder, getting it in the air. Last hit, of course, ground ball down the first base line that hit the first base bag and got him a sure hit. This one was a sure hit off the bat. Mookie did a nice job getting over to third also.
Dodgers trying to add on. The infield comes in for the Phillies. Muncy takes strike one from Banks. Singleton scored the Dodgers' first run in the second. They're trying to make it a fourth consecutive inning, putting a runner across. Banks 0-2. Muncy grounds one to second. Betts hangs on, and Stott will flip it over to first. 2 away. That brings up Ryan Ward, and our Performance Spotlight is sponsored by your Southern California Nissan dealers. His first career home run here in his first game at Dodger Stadium. And El Bencho with the left-handed pitcher out there. Alex Call heads up to pinch hit for Ward.
Dave Roberts trying to stretch the lead from 4 runs, get past the possible grand slam to tie this game. The 5th run, or the 5th run that puts you up by 5
for the Dodgers,
the manager's run.
Number 12, Alex Call.
Now Call, who had 2 hits yesterday, knocked in a run, scored a run. Up there is the pinch hitter.
2nd and 3rd still for the Dodgers because they weren't going on contact with the infield in. They were making the ball go through. So Mookie's still over there at 3rd. He didn't freeze. He was instructed to make sure that the ground balls went through.
Here's his day yesterday. Continues to do it with 2 strikes. Leading the league in on-base percentage. Alex Call getting a chance to play more routinely.
Talk about Alex Freeland. Bringing energy to the team when he's going to bring even more when he gets confidence in production. Alex Call brings it no matter what's going on. He is like a gym rat. He loves to play baseball, and he shows his emotions on his sleeves, even though he doesn't wear sleeves tonight. He is locked in.
9 for 18 against left-handed pitchers. Runners at 2nd and 3rd with 2 out. And a backdoor breaking pitch. Never did get home. Walk from Betts and a double from Tucker. No runs on 4 hits for the Phils. 4 runs on 8 hits for the Dodgers. Off the hand, shadow center. On comes Marsh. Won't get there. Both runs will score. 6-0. Alex Call chips in 2.
Well, he did this last night also. He is king of jam shots. Full swing jam shot. Hard for outfielders to get a good jump on it because they see the full swing, but they can't react completely on the sound, the trajectory, and that step that they fall short on makes the ball fall in. Barrels are overrated,
I'd say. Ball on rushing. Dodgers have 6 runs, 5 of them knocked in from the bottom 3 in the lineup.
This is how close they were to blowing yesterday's game open, but end up losing because they couldn't tack on.
Yeah, 2 things in today's game they didn't have yesterday: the long ball and the hit with a runner in scoring position. Left 8 men on base yesterday.
2 for 11 with that risp. Just needed 1 more hit with a runner in scoring position yesterday.
Yamamoto looks like he's going to go back out there. Been a grind of a 90+ pitches for him. Although he's racked up 9 strikeouts on his way over those 5 scoreless.
The guy's pitched on no day's rest. He'll be fine.
Yeah. Doc was saying sometime last year felt like he crossed that bridge where he said, I don't have to protect this guy anymore. Base hit for rushing. So that's 3 hits in this inning against Banks, and it brings up Freeland. Doubled in a run in the second. Start the scoring for the Dodgers. Just missed getting it out right there. And then picked a better spot to hit a deep fly ball and his 3rd home run. Figure every time you come back, you do so with a little more wisdom, a little more perspective, and hopefully a little more confidence that you belong. Chase Sugar ready in the Phillies pen, although Ohtani's on deck, so probably be for Pages if it were to get there. 2-2 on Freeland.
It's a fun time to be on second base as we take a look in the bullpen, because when there's 2 strikes on the hitter and you're on second base, you get a great jump, because if you see strike, it's either going to be called, swung at, or put in play, so you can be aggressive with your secondary lead and get a good jump.
Banks gets Freeland to finish off this inning, but the Dodgers get 2 more on an Alex Call base hit. First and second with 1 away in the top of the order up, and Yamamoto struck out Schwarber and Turner. 9 total today for Yamamoto, new season high, and he pitches on to the 6th inning. Got this 6-0 lead. Wasn't sure if he was going to continue with his pitch count at 94, but he will. Harper leads off and takes ball 1.
You asked me what kind of pitcher when he's best. Yamamoto, you know, the swing and miss guy or the guy who gets weak contact. Well, I think he's going to be best when he's the situational pitcher, right? When he needs a strikeout, he knows how to get it. The weak contact guy to keep the pitch count down and be efficient, be able to go deep into the game. So that's the best combination you can have.
Whatever the game calls for, huh?
Yep. And the game calls for weak contact when you don't need a strikeout, because it can happen early in the count, and then you're out there for your team longer, protecting your bullpen, racking up your own personal stats. But all of a sudden, a man on second with no out, you don't want it moved over. It's a good time for a strikeout. Man on third, less than 2 outs, good time for a strikeout.
2-2 on Harper, and he's followed what Robleski and Sasaki both did the first 2 nights of this series. Dodger starters 25 strikeouts to 2 walks. And only 2 runs allowed in 17+ innings. Career high in strikeouts for Robleski on Friday. Season high for Yamamoto today.
Yoshinobu has gone over 100 pitches 3 times this year. 104, 101, and 107 against San Diego a couple starts ago.
100th to this one, misses away to Harper, and the count goes full.
I'm sure they want to try and keep him under like 115. You don't want to risk anything here with a 6-0 lead. And I could even see that this would be his last hitter now that we have 2 more runs of insurance.
Walks Harper to open the inning. Second walk that he's issued today. Both of them to Bryce Harper. Yeah, it can be both things, right? That you want to protect your guy, especially this stage of the season and in this score of the game, while at the same time not having one bit of worry or question, can he keep going and get guys out? He's proven that at the highest level.
The fact that he's gone over 100 3 times, they're probably looking at that 107 mark. And knowing what he felt like the day after that 107, if he said he still felt good and it wasn't too much, they feel confident they can take him there or maybe push it a little bit. But the risk reward right now is not, it's more risk than reward.
Ahead of Marsh 0-2.
The big pitch count today is not about the fastball and the sinker. He's been very efficient with those. It's been everything else that have been kind of 50-50 to land.
Lands this curveball to get Marsh. Double digits, 10 strikeout of the day for Yamamoto. And that's how his day will come to an end. With a new season high 10 strikeouts, and you talk about different guy for different games. 3 strikeouts to go through 7 innings against the Brewers last weekend. 10 strikeouts to go through 5 1/3 here against the Phillies. And some run support to pair with it. Call to the bullpen is brought to you by Jacoby and Myers. It's Will Klein, who has fired 8 consecutive scoreless outings. Fastball for a strike on Alec Bohm. Day is finished for Yamamoto. The book not yet closed. It's up to Klein to try and preserve the shutout on the line. But a season high 10 strikeouts for Yamamoto. Rehashes it with his interpreter hero. 0-2. Yoshi's got quite the team around him, doesn't he? Kirsten telling us about Yada Sensei. Hero as interpreter. I mean, you want to surround yourself with people that have good energy, positive energy, you enjoy being around, and all those guys just so joyful and great energies. Bohm takes a seat here on this foul ball. Yoshi was working as a lighting guy in the film industry. Went to college in Kyoto in Japan, then moved to the United States to New York and was with a lighting company. And then decided, I'm going to apply for an interpreter gig with the Dodgers. Turned out to be for Yamamoto. And those guys have been linked at the hip. Not just his interpreter, but it's his guy. He's there for whatever Yoshi needs. And with a big smile on his face for whatever that is.
Yeah, it's easy to see no matter what they're doing, they are thinking the best for him.
In the case with anything, though, it's not as much what you do as it is who you do it with.
Yeah, they're very unselfish, and you're right about their spirit. Yoshi, his English is not as good as Hero's, of course, and Yoshi assigned Hero to come interview me about where do I think Yamamoto could get better in spring training. And the only topic that we really kind of stumbled on is just reading hitters' swings during a game a little bit better, because he's so good at prepping and memorizing the scouting report, and Of course, I'm not going to get involved with his mechanics or his workouts. So I said, you know, the only thing I could say is just continue to learn the league, but learn it moment by moment compared to the history of the hitter. And then we would go over, you know, how do you read? How did you read hitter swings? How did you read situations? It was great. It was a great conversation, and I knew it was going back to Yoshi because Hiro was assigned to come talk to me.
That's been a trademark of Yamamoto's since he started playing baseball. Is always looking for a way to get better. Very curious.
Well, the 30,000-foot view was he wants to win a Cy Young.
A Bohm 10-pitch walk here to greet Will Klein.
And I hope I just didn't blow a secret right there, but it really is a compliment to both of them.
Some competition right there for that Cy Young pursuit.
Second baseman Bryson
Boy, this
Stott.
National League Cy Young competition is something between those two guys. And of course, Paul Skeens, Christopher Sanchez for the Phillies has a 44-inning scoreless streak going. Jacob Mizorowski. Strike one on Stott. A couple guys have corkscrewed themselves into the ground on swings against Klein.
There are some years where there's like 4, 5, 6 pitchers that are barely separated, and one of them wins the Cy Young. And it's not a runaway. It's about how did the votes get divided. Who got a few more first place votes compared to third place votes. Got a chance to have that kind of class by the end of the year this year.
Mizorowski, by the way, today finished off just a ridiculous month of May. 7 more scoreless innings against Houston. 0.23 ERA this month. 57 strikeouts this month. Started the game 6 up, 6 down with 20 consecutive triple-digit fastballs. Klein to start with a 1-2, and we'll do it again. Now the Phillies have been leaning on the Dodgers, but they're being stymied the way the Dodgers were yesterday. 3 consecutive innings they've had multiple base runners, but still looking for their first run. Jack Dreyer's ready to come off of the injured list, and Dave Roberts hinted before the game today he's probably going to be involved. With Tanner Scott and Alex Vesia both pitching last night. Dreyer, the left-handed option down there. Into center field, Pages charges on, sliding try, and he makes the catch. Ball comes out on the transfer. Pages had one earlier moving into right center field that he couldn't corral, but able to make a nifty play right here.
This was a very good break because it's not hit very hard, pretty much a full swing, and he was off at the crack of the bat. Just on the transfer, but immediately you can look for the umpire to see if he still got the out signal up, or you can get the ball to third base for the force out.
2 gone, and Marchand came off of the bench for Real Muto. Was hit on the hand and had an infield single his first time up. Sporadic playing time. He's only played in 2 games the last 2 weeks. That's his first hit since May 15th. will not add to it as he pops it down the first base line. Freddie Freeman comes out, and the Phillies strand 2 more. Yamamoto trying to get back-to-back wins for the first time this year. 5 1/3 scoreless innings, new season high 10 strikeouts. Not as efficient as usual, but he navigated traffic perfectly.
He had to work a little bit today, but you know what? He was facing a good opponent, and he got the job done. He will tell you there are things to improve on, but very nice, and got a standing ovation from the home crowd as he left the mound.
Chase Sugar comes down to pitch for the Phillies. Top of the Dodge orders up. Ohtani, Pages, and Freeman. Shohei's 1 for 3 in this game. Extended his on-base streak to 16 with a single in the first. It's one of the 10 hits the Dodgers have today. It's been a well-rounded attack. They've got those 10 hits, 2 of them home runs. And they've gotten it from throughout the lineup. Only Dodger that hasn't reached base is Pages. Way up there. No big deal for Adolis Garcia, though. Dodgers having a good offensive day, but Yankees had a good offensive day in 1 inning. Yankees scored 13 runs in the 3rd today. They had 10 before there was an out recorded. Whoa. Matches the franchise record. Ball on Pages. Behind first, Bryce Harper. Caught off by Stott. Popped out of his hand. And squirts into foul ground. Pages racing for 3rd, playing the game. Andy Pages. Love that.
It's a tough sun, and especially on this angle, looking towards that ball of fire. Again, the perspective of a fielder right at the end with the sunglasses, trying to find out where do I put the glove. We saw earlier with Pages, now he becomes the batter runner. And he sees that it might be a struggle, and he takes off after it's dropped. Could have got to 3rd probably a lot easier, but got there anyway.
How about a triple right there? That's got to be the triple that got the least distance from the infield.
That's a pretty aggressive triple called by the official scorer. Here's the Pages on the angle towards the ball of fire, but he misreads at the very end with the glare. Phillies had some same problems.
Infield is in as Freeman takes outside for ball 2. First triple of the year for Andy. Crushed it.
Well, it makes up for all those warning track fly balls to center field. We've seen pop-ups where it falls between 3 fielders and hits the grass that are hits. It's one of the few that you'll see that'll hit leather and get graded a hit.
Freeman corks a line drive to right field. Garcia makes the catch. Here comes Pages. Adolis loads up, heaves it to the plate. Not in time, and it's 7-0. Dodgers have scored in 5 innings in a row.
It's a beautiful game, though, just to watch that throw from right field. Throw it some 270 feet on the line and land right at home plate with your pitcher.
Number 50, Mookie Betts.
Flashes of Yasiel Puig.
Two outs for Betts, looking for his first hit of the day where he has 2 walks. was thinking about Yasiel Puig just the other day. We were talking about Dan Mattingly, thinking back to that 2013 turnaround where they were 10 games below 500, wound up winning the division by 10. That was when Puig debuted. Betts is down on strikes, and we move along to the 7th inning. Dodgers add another, lead at 7-0. Why haven't they wished George happy birthday yet? George Smith, May 31st, 1892. Pitched parts of 8 seasons in the major leagues. Pitched for both of these franchises, Brooklyn and Philadelphia. Is most known, though, for giving up the longest home run that Babe Ruth ever hit. In an exhibition game in Tampa, Babe cleared the wall and a racetrack that sat right behind the right field wall. There's a plaque there. And legend has it, this is where the ball landed, but the plaque says 587 feet. The home run that George gave up to Babe. Retired not too long after that. He had a degree from Columbia and put that to use. 40 years as a high school math teacher after that. Edgardo Enriquez is on to pitch the top of the 7th in a 7-0 ball game. Adolis Garcia bounces it to Mookie Betts. One away. Happy birthday to George Smith, 130 years old. Happy birthday to Timothy Akasaki as well. Happy 13th to Timothy. And to Dave Roberts. #1 winning percentage all time. He's getting close to his 1,000th career win. Crawford takes high. And happy birthday to all of you who were born on this day.
I'd like everyone to text you thank you on your Instagram that it's their birthday.
Yes, text me thank you on my Instagram.
And I'd like you to respond to all of them.
Slider drops in there for a strike. This is second outing for Henriquez this weekend. He gave up a run on Friday night. Overall, though, really encouraging lately. Good fastball right there. Nice and easy. 1-0-3. Crawford slaps it foul to stay alive. For Crawford today, 1 for 2 with a nice defensive play as well. Strike 3 called. Come on, Justin, challenge it. Do it for the people. Do it for history. Oh, it caught it.
Hitter number 12, Kyle Schwarber.
Sean Barber's heating up.
Practice makes perfect.
11 strikeout of the day for Dodger pitching. 11 strikeouts in all 3 games for the Phillies. Back to the top in Schwarber, who has struck out all 3 times he's been up.
Dealing with 19-mile-an-hour change of speeds with the 103 fastball down to an 84-mile-an-hour curveball. Nice and easy.
Back to 101.
Took a little off. The game has changed. When you're in low leverage and you bring in a guy that throws over 100.
Yeah, and you ask why do you say hitting so hard these days?
Yeah.
There's evidence all over the place.
And how does he not flinch and just undress himself with that ball coming at him right there? It's like this guy throws 103 and you got one coming at your front shoulder, and fortunately it breaks. If that's a fastball, No, then Schwarber is picking up the spin. To not have the fear factor and then have the ability to pick up the spin and no, I'm not going to get hit. I just need to move my waist back a little bit. I mean, that is so elite.
The lead eye and elite toughness for the old high school linebacker that could have played Division I football, and the son of a police chief.
I mean, there's very few guys in the ballpark, including the ones in uniform, that can do that.
Did he go? No swing.
We probably get someday to an ABS system where it'll be on the check swings.
I think that it should be. First, we have to define what that would be.
Right.
But then, yeah, we should be able to use the same technology. Schwarber takes the walk.
Shortstop, number 7, Trey Turner.
Got a 2-out chance here for Trey Turner. Batting champ last year at 308. 1 for 3 today, 224 this year.
He's probably going to hit 400 for a period of time. Maybe it's for, a month, maybe it's for 3 weeks, but he's going to need to hit it for a long time at that level to get this average up. He will have his hot streak.
Down the left field line, it is foul. What do you think? You think the Phillies are a playoff team?
The resumes sure are, and the pitching staff, the way they're pitching, sure is. But will these resumes wake up?
Well, they're 9 back in the division, so that's going to be really tough, as good as Atlanta has been. But they're only a game and a half out of the last wild card spot.
Yeah, we're still, we're just a little past the 3rd pole, and there's a lot of season left.
Poke to right at Tucker. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Sit and Sleep, SoCal's most trusted mattress store. Old Spice Fresh Stats. The Dodgers going through this streak where they're trying to get a 14th win out of their last 17 games, and a lot of that coming against the top teams in the National League. 2 of 3 against San Diego and Milwaukee on the previous road trip. Rubber match today against the Phillies. And then they'll head down to Phoenix, take on an Arizona team that we were talking about earlier prior to this weekend in Seattle had been one of the hottest teams in baseball. It's Kyle Tucker to lead off. Chase Shugart stays in. One of the big stories today, Kyle Tucker getting his swing going. He's 2 for 3. Sometimes it's all it takes is a little bit of good fortune. He grounded one down the line that hit the bag, popped into right field and brought in a run, and then he really made it look right his next time, doubling off of the wall in right.
Each one of these guys with resumes and backs of baseball cards, if they get going, you're talking about Mookie Betts and Tucker. The way Pages has hit this year, Freddie Freeman's gotten it going, Ohtani's gotten it going. This lineup gets really long and dangerous. And it might link up pretty quick here. Tucker gets going, Mookie gets going some more.
Arizona team the Dodgers swept to open the year. They're about to take on down in Phoenix. Gone final in D.C. The Nationals sweep the Padres. San Diego's dropped 6 of its last 7. I don't know who broke into the Giants locker room and stole their uniforms today, but the Giants have 17 runs on 22 hits.
Whoa.
It's at Coors Field against the Rockies, but still, they had lost the first 2 games against Colorado.
Qualifies as a big league game.
Tucker waves and misses, 1 gone in the 7th. Giants are on pace to lose 101, which would be a franchise record. They've only lost 100 games 1 time in the 140-year history of Giants baseball. It's 1985, and they lost 100 on the dot. 5 in a row going into today's outburst. Life in the big leagues has proven to be difficult for Tony Vitello in his first chance in the pro game. Strike on Muncy. And think about what that's got to be like psychologically. Not just going from one level to another that you've never been at, but to go from absolutely dominating to getting dominated. Forget about where or what level. Nothing but winning to a lot of losing.
It's one thing also to get dominated on the short term, like a weekend, but in a big league season, a little different than a college length season. Hard to change the culture with that much losing going on too. Where you keep the players' ears.
They were 60-13 at Tennessee last year. 3-1 pitch to Muncy.
It's like losing a game a week. What were you this week? We were 6-1. About next week, 6-1. Those were some fun times and a lot of smiles.
Chase Shugart, who started this season at AAA, has been one of the best guys for the Phillies. Strikes out Tucker, and now comes home with a payoff pitch to Muncy.
Make some noise!
High drive, deep right field to Garcia. Turn and watch it fly halfway up the pavilion. Muncy homers and takes over the team lead with his 14th.
This is a blast. This is a bomb. This ball is launched. And he got to watch it.
Left field, number 12, Alex Call.
14 for Muncy, another solo home run from Muncy. 12 of the 14 have been solo shots. That's how you can have 14 home runs, but just 21 RBIs. Alex Call, who's chipped in a couple runs, batted in today as well, takes ball 1. So a 3-home run day for the Dodgers. We were talking about it right off of the top today. Didn't homer yesterday, and so even though they out-hit the Phillies, still came up on the wrong end of it. 7-13 when they don't homer. On the verge of getting to 31-8 when they do. And Muncy's within 1 of EK for the Dodger Stadium record.
he's going to get one in Arizona in a 4-game series.
I don't think that's going to count towards the Dodger Stadium total.
Oh, that's true. Doggone it. You got it wrong again.
It's been a long day.
No excuses. I'm going to work on my game.
Got a pitching change. Be back in a moment. Dodgers 8, Phillies nothing. Bottom of the 7th inning. Pitching change here. Nolan Hoffman is on to face Dalton Rushing. Yeah, whips one outside. Ball 1. Hoffman back in the big leagues, first time since April. 3rd outing for him.
3rd stint with the club here in 2026. That put on the roster when Aaron Nola went on the paternity list on Friday.
28-year-old from Lincoln, Nebraska, home to Rushing with a 1-1 pitch. Shatters his bat, a little teardrop to 3rd and caught by Bohm. After 7 innings, the Dodgers lead it by a bunch. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Good times. 6 straight innings the Dodgers have played at a run, and 7 scoreless innings for the pitching staff. Jonathan Hernandez, who started this season actually in the Phillies organization, pitching at AAA. They released him. Dodgers picked him up a day later, and in 3 games, he's not given up a hit.
This is personal.
Yeah.
This is personal, even though the score is out of whack. And it's late and low leverage. Personally, high leverage.
This is a return to the majors for Hernandez this year. First time in 2 years that he's pitched in the big leagues. Ball 1 on Garrett Stubbs. Beg your pardon. It is a Mundo Sosa looking Garrett Stubbs. Got Stubbs on the scoreboard, Stubbs on the graphic, but Sosa in the box. Hero yesterday with a home run in the 8th inning. Went into that at bat, 4 for his last 38. Oh boy. Some more Stickum. Sosa, the kind of guy that the whole dugout really pulls for. Never guaranteed much playing time, but kind of guy that always stays ready, always has a positive attitude. And so when he does something like he did yesterday, it means that much more for the vibe of the group.
Hernandez should not throw him a strike here. Same breaking ball off the plate with the swing and miss.
Two and 2 on the native of Panama City. Panama. Not the spring break destination of Florida.
Good job holding up on that breaking ball. Something he definitely waves at usually.
I got some great memories in Panama City.
Might have some time to tell about the memories here.
Sosa takes strike 3.
Trying to lay off the breaking ball, throw the 2-seamer that comes back to the edge and get him punched out.
Left fielder, number 16,
Instead of throwing the one that they swing at, throw the one that'll lock him up.
Good looking pitch.
Really good.
That's 5 Ks to just 1 walk over the first 4 1/3 for Hernandez for the Dodgers. And our director Ben Dillenberg is just cutting from one Hernandez to another here. Kike, Teoscar, Jonathan. Fly ball center field off of the bat of Marsh. Pages puts it away. 2 out.
We could almost cut to a map of Panama City. Spring break place?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Third baseman, number 28,
I
Alex
took
Bowman.
one spring break trip with a buddy after my sophomore year and ran out of money.
Did you get stranded down there? Where'd you go? I got to hear more.
We went all the way from Bowling Green, Ohio, where we're in school, and went all the way down to Florida to Miami, and then ran out of money. Came up with enough money that my dad hid money in the top of my tackle box and didn't tell me. So when I called home and said we run out of money, my dad said, "Go to your tackle box." I'm like,
wow.
We did go fishing, but Dad, you know, the tackle box, it's in the car. He goes, "Go to your tackle box, open up the top." I taped a $100 bill to the top of the tackle box. I figured you might run out of money.
Bouncing ball towards the middle. Freeland ranges over there to get it and heaves it across to retire Bone. 1-2-3 8th inning. Jonathan Hernandez. What are these guys? For Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by Mercury Insurance. It's all Dodgers in this finale. After a couple tight ones to open the series, 4-2 Dodgers on Friday, 4-3 Phillies last night. 8-zip, 6 innings in a row where the Dodgers have scored. And Freeland has been one of the stars of this show. An RBI double to start the scoring and a home run. Leads off against Hoffman, takes a ball.
Back to the left side. Hit right-handed in his last at bat. Left-handed side today has been the productive side.
Usually is for him.
Yep.
Pretty much a platoon at this point at second base between him and Miguel Rojas. Chances are you'll see Rojas in there tomorrow with Eduardo Rodriguez getting the start for the Diamondbacks, but then 3 righties after that. There's 2 ways of looking at that with a young player when you put him into a platoon. One of them is, well, how can you know if they're good from the other side if you don't give them a chance, and don't you want them to grow and have as many opportunities as they can? The counter to that is, don't you want to maximize their chances to have success? Put them in the best situations to have success and get that confidence. And for a player like Freeland right now, that means that most of his at-bats come from this side. Limit exposure to his not as good side.
It's a little harder to do when your good side is the right-hand side, because there's very few left-handed starters compared to right-handed starters. But yeah, in this situation, with all the right-handed pitchers that he can face, it's a nice amount of playing time.
Designated hitter number
Ohtani
17.
didn't waste any time today, getting that on-base streak extended to 16 games, singled in the first inning. Last little box for Ohtani to check is the consistent home run power. We've seen more of it lately, but the bar that he has set, winning MVP after MVP, more in that power tank.
I expect the swings to be powerful and big in this at bat with an 8-0 lead. We've seen him cut loose when he has what he needs in his pocket, and the team is well out in front.
Scorches it through the right side and a base hit for Ohtani. Second hit of the day for him, although that would go back to the conversation we were having with him a couple days ago, and it's, yeah, I feel like I'm hitting the ball harder, but now I just got to get it in the air a little bit more.
That was going to be a big, powerful swing, but he had to come out of it a little bit to get the barrel to it, but still scorched it through the hole.
102.
Yeah, the hole on the right side of the infield, when he pulls it, is much bigger for him than most.
Remember, Mookie Betts, first year playing with Ohtani, changed the way he was taking secondary leads out of self-preservation. Ball on Pages. His first step was going back just to get himself a little bit more room, and then heads towards second. A little more reaction time for those blurs that Ohtani sends down there. His first half of that first year, before Betts got hurt, Mookie was sitting leadoff, Ohtani was sitting second. Ball 3 on Pages.
Big green light right here, and as far as a possible cheat swing.
And instead of walk to load the bases, as the Dodgers pursue a 7th straight inning with a tally. Looking pretty good. Bases loaded, nobody out. And Freddie Freeman coming up.
First base, number 5, Freddie Freeman.
A little bit of everything today for the Dodger first baseman. 1 hit, 1 sac fly, 1 run knocked in. We got a challenge, baby.
The catcher's challenging the ball call.
7 reversals so far.
Make it 8. 1 shy.
Philadelphia has
Of
1
history.
remaining challenge.
An historic Sunday afternoon in Los Angeles. The 8th overturn. Where were you when?
The same number as the Dodgers runs and lead.
One and two. Deep breath from Hoffman. Here's his pitch.
Freddie grinding it out, even though the scoreboard's out of whack. Wants to drive that run in. Has a goal of having a lifetime average, career average of 300. Get an RBI without an at-bat.
He's at 299 for his career.
It'll be at bats like this, where a sac fly, he drives a run in and doesn't get an offer or get a hit. That'd be even a bigger bonus. But no strikeout, no ground into double play, no routine out that doesn't score the run. He's fighting. The rest of his career, there might be 100 at bats like this left.
Ken Rosenthal had an article a week or two ago, had a conversation with Freddie about the longer term, because we've talked about 2 more years on this contract and then wanting to do another 2 after that. He said having a little girl has made him not necessarily change his mind, but at least pause and say, we'll see.
The scale of 3,000 hits compared to missing things in my daughter's life, the rest of the family's life, responsibilities of being a father.
Smacks this one to left. Marsh makes the catch. And the Dodgers score for a 7th consecutive inning. Freeland's in on a sac fly from Freeman, his 2nd today.
No offer for that at bat, but add to his all-time RBI total.
1,351. Leads all active players.
I believe there's going to be a portion of his family that wants him to keep playing for as long as he can, and there might be a portion that says, no, Daddy, I want you to retire.
Well, the boys love it. The boys love watching him play baseball.
Well, the locker room lifestyle, coming out for BP, having a uniform in your dad's locker. And as big as the Dodger locker room is, sometimes the kids get their own locker. It is quite a life to walk away from for dad and for kids that are old enough.
Baltimore chop from Bat. Sosa shuffles to the bag, throws to first, and a double play. Edmundo Sosa with a fancy play. Some nice footwork right there. But a 9-0 lead for the Dodgers. On to the 9th inning. Off for 9 runs on 13 hits today. A couple of youngsters getting home runs at the bottom of the lineup. Max Muncy taking over the team lead with his 14th. And Yamamoto doing his thing. 5 1/3 scoreless innings. New season high 10 strikeouts. Bullpen has taken it from there. Klein, Henriquez, Hernandez will try and finish things off. Strike 1 on Bryson Stott.
Yamamoto came into the game with the 12th least amount of run support in the National League. They were averaging him just over 3.5 runs. Got a whole bushel today.
Deep fly ball, right center field. Pages back over the wall, gone, and so is the shutout. As Bryson Stott finishes off this month of May with a 6th home run of the month after he was shut out over the first month of the year.
78 degrees with a little wind blowing out helped that one. Some backspin and a good swing. When it left the bat, it looked like it was going to be warning track, and you could tell by the route that Pages ran that it was definitely wind blown at the end. It was a serious J route.
So it ends the shutout, but it does not change what is a continued concerning trend for this Phillies team. Looking at an 11th consecutive game failing to reach 5 runs. In this series, they're 13 for 91 with 34 strikeouts.
I think it's only the 4th inning that they've scored. They might have come into this game with only 3 innings, 3 individual innings where they had scored.
It's only 7 runs total over the 3.
Yeah. I remember that from Dr. Krajewski's notes.
So the Phillies break through here in the 9th. The Dodgers 7 straight innings getting a run. First time they've done that in 4 years. Got to go back to a game at the Great American Small Park. Cincinnati, they scored in 8 consecutive innings. I was talking with Dave Roberts yesterday about what has changed with the offense lately, and he said really just mechanics better with guys, swing decisions better, sure, but he said to me it's pretty simple. We haven't been missing the pitches that we should hit. Nice catch right there by Freeland for the first out of the 9th, and he said it sounds simple, but for a long stretch right there we're just fouling off pitches in the strike zone.
You can see the heat maps, you can see the quality of the pitches that you're missing, and then you can see the ones that you should be hitting also. Pretty direct line to those percentages on whether your offense is firing or not.
Strike on Stuart Baroa came on defensively last inning. First weekend with the Phillies here. First weekend in the big leagues. First games in the big leagues in 2 years for Baroa. Golf to right center field. Andy Pajes has it spotted, and the Phillies are down to their last out. This is going to be a 5-1 homestand for the Dodgers. It's going to be a 14th win out of their last 17 in what is a pretty difficult stretch of the schedule.
Well, they're working on really putting it all together for the longest amount of time right now. Early in the season, of course, when the season started, they were hot. But as far as getting all three departments with the starting pitching, the bullpen, and the offense, the defense has been consistent. But as of right now, yeah, they're starting to really lengthen this hot streak.
Wave and a miss, 0-2. They send Emmett Sheehan to the hill tomorrow in Phoenix. Coming off an 8 strikeout performance against the Rockies. Against Eduardo Rodriguez. 6:40 first pitch.
Strike away from a happy flight to Arizona.
Happy flight, happy birthday for the manager.
Yeah.
Wow, stab by Freeland, and the wide throw will continue the day.
Had so much time because of the great glove work, but just didn't set his feet. Trusted his athletic ability no matter what's going on with the lower half. He just threw it away. He knows it.
Would like the extra inch or two of reach from Freddie Freeman over there. Espinaldo's taken over at first base.
He could have balanced his feet and started to run and just underhand it. It was hit so hard.
Now the chance right here. Freeland will charge and shovel it with the glove to finish the game off.
Don't use your bare hand to throw the ball. Use your glove.
Dodgers flex on this Sunday rubber match after they split the first two with the Phillies. A 9-1 throttling to win the series and win their 14th out of their last 17.
He was good with the left-handed bat swing, and here he's good with the left-handed glove flip.
Dodgers improved to 38-21 on the year. They go 5-1 on this homestand. And take off for Phoenix. For Orr Hershiser, Kirsten Watson, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium, where the Dodgers win it 9-1. 4 games with the Diamondbacks beginning tomorrow. We'll talk to you at 6:30 with the first pitch coming at 6:40 right here on Sportsnet LA. For now, stay tuned. It's Access Sportsnet Dodgers.
Inning after the first, they hit 3 homers, including the first big league home run, James, by Ryan Ward today.
Yeah, I mean, great to see Yoshi out there. When you get run support, you can attack the strike zone even more. We know Yoshi is a guy that likes to attack the strike zone anyways. Great to see those 10 Ks right there in under 6 innings. And obviously Ryan Ward with the big homer right there. His swing looks so good. Even when he misses sometimes, he looks like a big leaguer already.
We say they watch our show, and we ask that they get some run support for Yamamoto, they did exactly that. The other thing that was really impressive to me today was what the offense did. The offense being able to score in 7 of the 8 innings that they came to bat today. That was really impressive. It was just up and down the line, finding ways to score, and it was just a really good, solid win.
And we talked in the pregame show as well with Ryan Ward about making his Dodgers Stadium debut. Said he was going to be anxious, going to be a little nervous, going to be excited. What did he do? He went deep. Let's hear from Ryan Ward right now with Kirsten Watson.
Ryan, first I got to say congratulations today. You had your first career home run, but when you spoke to us the other day, you were talking about, you got a lot of the first out of the way. You had your Major League debut. You were just excited to be back here to get back to baseball. But today, how special was it for you?
Yeah, no, that was incredible. I mean, all the guys were happy for me too, and it was a really cool moment. I was happy with it.
It was in your second at bat, the second pitch. What were you looking for there?
Yeah, I mean, he just throwing a heater down and in for a ball. In my first at bat, he went heater slider. So I kind of took a chance and sat on a slider, and then that's what he threw me, and it was up, and just was able to put a good swing on it.
Well, it wasn't exactly back-to-back, but when you can do that, and then you see someone like Alex Freeland comes up and hits a home run, how special is it to share those moments with him?
Yeah, I mean, that was really cool, too, because we spent the whole morning hitting together, and